Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I don't know what time it is where you are, but right now it is time for more insight. This is insight you can trust because there is more where it came from. I'm your host, Chris Moore. Make sure you subscribe, make sure you like, make sure you comment, make sure you do all those things. Like I always tell y'all, we're just trying to build something great over here. I have a special guest with me. Now, some of you all talk sports. Some of you may know sports, but Ron knows sports. And it's not just a brand, it's a body of work. When I first got the itch to step into this space, when I first got the itch to become a sports content creator, if you will, Ron was actually one of the first creators I tapped into. One of the things that stood out for me was he wasn't just chasing moments, but he built credibility along the way. He is a Dallas Mavericks beat writer for DLLS Sports. He is a journalist there. He's someone who understands the game from access to accountability. So we're not going to have a debate show. We're going to have a great conversation. Ron Harrod, welcome to More Insight. How you doing, my man?
I appreciate you having me on, and we're finally able to connect.
Absolutely. We actually had a chance to connect in person a couple months ago. I was able to pull up and watch the Grizzlies beat the Mavericks on that night. Unfortunately, it's been that kind of year where, it's been up and down with the Mavericks. But we'll get into them a little bit later. I want to get to know you a little bit more. How did you start Ron Knows Sports and what made you do it?
Yes. Well, I started, I'm trying to think. I think I started posting maybe 2022, 2020, probably late 2022, 2023. I probably didn't get consistent until like 2024, realistically. But I think I had the idea around 2022, 2023. And really I started just to, build a brand in sports. When I started, I was already a high school sports reporter at the Roanoke Times. So that was like a real small paper, doing the typical sports journalist, newspaper grind. I just wanted more exposure, and I didn't really know what I was doing really, but just tried it and tried to build and just grow from there.
Man, I love it for you. When you look back at this year of 2025, we're almost at the end, a couple of days left at that. What is something that you're proud of that you accomplished this year professionally or personally?
Yeah, well, I would say, yeah, professionally. I mean, one of the goals was to become a professional beat writer. And in 2025, I officially accomplished that goal, for like a full-time job to cover a professional team, which is the Mavericks. I didn't know it would come with like the podcast and like the split, like half writing, half show.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been cool. And I didn't have to move again. That's always a win. In journalism, you have to move all the time. I've moved so many times. So to kind of already be at the Morning News in Dallas and to just get a new job and not have to move kind of your whole life across the world was a plus. So yeah, that was a big goal that I accomplished.
Was there a moment this year that confirmed for you, like, this is exactly what I'm supposed to be doing? Like, I'm here now. I'm good.
Oh, that's a good question. I think just kind of maybe covering some of the, well, you know what? Marcus Spears followed me on Instagram and Twitter. And I would say if you're like a black journalist, I mean, I'm very open. These are like my idols, like Marcus Spears, David Aldridge, all these type of people. And if they like follow me back, to me, it's a big deal because I was going to follow them regardless, but I would never like ask for them to follow me because I want to earn the follow. If you want to follow me, I want you to follow me because you found my page, you want to follow me. I would never ask them to follow me. But I followed them, and on their time, they found my page, I guess, and followed me. And I got a chance to meet Marcus Spears when he came to Dallas. I got a chance to talk with him. He probably doesn't even know all this, but yeah. But yeah, he's definitely like a idol of mine. So just kind of meeting people like that and being in the space, of people you've idolized. I mean, because I would say that athletes, but I've covered athletes. I've covered so many big athletes already that I wouldn't say that just like covering Kyrie was cool, but I've covered Shador and just as big quote unquote athletes to pop culture. So I haven't covered LeBron yet. That'll be coming in January. So that probably will be a big one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say Marcus Spears for sure.
I'm glad that you said Marcus Spears, man. He is the Hall of Famer. Like you said, when you're in his space, he's like the godfather, if you will, because he's the man. Like the stories that he comes out with, his writing ability, the way he delivers it, He's A1. If there's a standard, if there's a bar, it's definitely Mark Spears. So definitely shouts out to him. Is there anything from 2025 that you learned that you're going to take into 2026?
I would say that for sure that like relationships just
Mhm.
are, it's like one of the most important things you can have in any job, but specifically I'll say in journalism, just because one, like sources is kind of like the name of your game. Also, like, make relationships with coaches and front office people and even just anyone, health, the doctor, anyone on the team. Plus, your own, Tim McMahon or
Yeah.
Christian Clark at the Atlantic and Mike Kurtz at Dallas Morning News. Like, looking at those guys, watching those guys, making that camaraderie with them. We're competitors, but just kind of see it. Okay, these guys have already done it. I'm the new guy. Like, how have they won? So just kind of all the things, like, look at people that have done it before you and make sure you're, keeping strong relationships around you.
Now, you're in this space, you're at the foundation piece. What's something that fans wouldn't understand about the life of a beat writer or sports journalist? Like, is there a big misconception that you would like to dispel? Is there a myth out there that's like, nah, anything like that?
Well, I would say one of the biggest things that just comes to mind is that people think I can get them tickets to games. And I don't work for the team, I cover the team. So like,
Right.
I have media seats, but like I never get like, oh, Ron, here's 2 tickets in the 100 level. Like that never happens. Like I don't even talk to the sale. I don't even know anyone in the sales portion of the Mavericks. Like that's not even anyone that I'm aware of. Like I know the PR people like that, but they don't give tickets either, to my knowledge. So yeah, we cannot give you tickets if you're a journalist. Also, I mean, I think people think that like I think Stephen Smith. People probably assume what he's doing is journalism, and I wouldn't say it's 100% not, but it's really like it's on a very far extreme. Like when you start giving like your opinion, I'm not saying you're not a journalist, but you're edging towards just like commentator, which is fine. But people think like I guess I'm kind of in the middle because I'm on a podcast. So when I'm on the podcast, I have to give my opinion. But even then, I don't probably give the opinion as much as like the host does. The host is like, Anthony Davis, trade him. He has to go. I can't like kill Anthony Davis. I have to see him tomorrow. I have to talk to his agent. Like I can't, just kill the guy and then, eventually have to see him and possibly his representation. So it doesn't work
Yeah.
like that. Because again, going back to relationships do matter. You need to be honest. People respect honesty. But it's just like, you can't be like brash, like someone in like a barber shop per se.
Let me ask you this, because this is something that I struggle with. How is it you're able to watch the game just as your job, but then are there times where you can watch the game as a fan? And we can take the Mavericks out of it. Like when you're watching sports, are you watching as a fan, or is it like I'm watching? I see it through both lenses.
So I think when it's not, okay, when it's not, I think probably the NBA, I probably just watch the journalists at this point. If it's not the NBA, I can still enjoy it as a fan. Like I watch the Cowboys, embarrass me all the time. I still watch, NFL, college football. I can watch that just purely as a fan. I actually I actually was going to go to the Cotton Bowl in Dallas. It just was too expensive for what it was. I'm not a fan of either team. But so I still enjoy sports. I still watch, I think, sports as a fan. But the NBA is, I still watch the NBA, I guess. But I think of it like in Mavs perspective. Like if I see a good player, I'm like, oh, him and Cooper Flag could be a cool tandem, or everything kind of is always like, or like this team, like Houston Rockets, they rebound is like 40% of their missed shots, or a
Mhm.
statistic around that. I'm like, oh, if the Mavs could rebound like this could maybe help their offense. So everything kind of can go back to the team that you cover in a way.
Man, you said so much right there. I want to pull one more thing out of you. In the sports media world, sports journalism, we're living in a world where it's full of hot takes and who can get off the uh, craziest comment, who can say something that will cause an effect, change up how you think, whatever. What do you think separates voices that last from the voices that fade away?
I would probably think it's the people that, at least on the ground, that probably are putting in the most work. One, but I also think that sometimes hard work can almost be like over. I'm not gonna say it's over. You have to work hard, but like a lot, like basically everyone kind of works hard when you get to a certain level. So like, sure, I mean, you can quote unquote outwork someone, but like everyone is kind of going their hardest. So it's going to be other things that separate you. Like it could be personality, it could be like Stephen A. Smith is getting paid $20 million not just because he watches every NBA game, but because he's entertaining. So he has the biggest face, he's the biggest personality, he has the biggest brand. Colin Cowherd is somebody that, I mean, I think since I've been alive, he's been doing either radio or TV. Again, just big face, big personality. Is kind of able to do that. But then you have like some writers and journalists like a David Aldridge who was on 2K at one point. Somebody, and now he's doing columnist for the Athletic. But he's lasted because he's just respected. Like people respect his writing, his craft. I'm actually reading a book. It's a top 100 NBA. It's like a top 100. I think it's called Top 100, but it's a basketball focus. But basically, it's on the top 100 NBA players, and it gives a story about each player in a athletic, the platform, the Athletic. One writer will do their story about one player. So like number 100 was like Draymond, and stuff like that. And David Aldridge was a big part. That he's the editor, to my knowledge, of that book. So you don't get that. That's a huge assignment. I mean, I'm not sure how. I have it on Audible. It's a 19-hour book. I would assume that translates to over 1,000 pages in like hard copy book. Probably more than that, to be honest. So just to have that type of respect is kind of how he's lasted so long. And I met him in person, like maybe 2021. I was barely even starting my career. He was still really helpful, humble guy. So I think also if you just do not want to be this big brash Colin Cowherd, Stephen A. Smith personality, there are ways to still stay in the industry, like a David Aldridge or like my coworker Mark Stein, that has kept them in the game so long, and they've been really successful. And I'm assuming made a lot of money doing it.
For sure. I agree with you. What I've seen is consistency is the major key. Being consistent, you don't have to be loud to be heard. You can easily say things in a different way and be heard just as much as a Stephen A. But I think where we are right now with the digital space, I believe we're at an advantage that, anyone's voice can be heard, but it also just matters what you're saying.